Mary A. Knight was born into a family with several siblings, her parents being Jonathan Knight, a Civil War veteran, and Aphia Knight. Her early years were spent in the tranquility of their rural family home in Plymouth, but at the age of 20, she married Willis W. Bean, a young farmer from nearby Dixmont. Together, they welcomed 3 children into their lives, Gracie, Alice, and Mabel. Sometime during their marriage, Willis expressed a strong desire to pursue a career in medicine, a decision that Mary supported and even wanted to explore herself. However, their family faced financial difficulties, and they also had the responsibility of caring for their infants. In a tragic turn of events, in 1884, a neighbor discovered Gracie lifeless in their family home, the child having apparently suffocated. When the neighbor informed Mary about the heartbreaking situation, she seemed unusually detached, casually acknowledging that she had been aware of the child's passing for about half an hour. This response raised suspicions among the residents of Dixmont, who believed that Mary may have played a sinister role in Gracie's death to rid herself of the burden. Over the following 2 years, both Alice and Mabel suffered from mysterious and recurring stomach pains, eventually leading to their untimely deaths. Despite these distressing events, no official investigations were conducted, and the deaths were soon forgotten after the sisters were laid to rest in the Plymouth Cemetery. Despite the tragedies that befell them, Willis remained resolute in his pursuit of a medical career. He decided to enroll in a questionable institution known for selling diplomas at the cost of $25. However, this endeavor was mired by fraudulence, leading to the swift enactment of a state law that prohibited the sale of counterfeit diplomas just before Bean could acquire one. Undeterred by this legal setback, both Willis and Mary remained steadfast in their quest for diplomas, opting to journey to an out-of-state institution in Ohio. Before embarking on this venture, Willis shared his intentions to invest in a farm with his parents, where he planned to reside upon his return to Maine. The farm was indeed purchased, and a mortgage was provided by the elder Beans, although it was never officially recorded. After borrowing around $200, the couple set out for Ohio to pursue their educational aspirations. On January 6, 1888, Willis's parents received a perplexing letter, revealing that their son had met a mysterious demise. The cause of death, later determined to be severe stomach pains, mirrored the unfortunate fate of the couple's previous children. Soon after, Mary returned to stay with her late husband's parents, and the unrecorded mortgage mysteriously disappeared. Possessing the deed for the farm, which effectively meant she owned the land, Mary sold the property for $2,000. Sometime later, Mary entered into matrimony with George H. Taylor, a laborer from Dixmont, where the newlyweds decided to make their home. Tragically, Taylor succumbed to acute stomach pains after only 4 days, in circumstances eerily similar to the deaths of Mary's previous family. Despite Taylor's membership in the Independence Order of Odd Fellows, it was discovered that his life insurance policy was void due to unpaid dues. Nonetheless, sympathetic members of the organization pooled their resources, contributing several $100s to support the grieving widow. A few months following Taylor's passing, Mary entered into marriage with Ellis Cowan, a widowed farmer who had an 8-year-old son named Willis. Not long after their union, a peculiar incident occurred. All of Ellis's farm buildings mysteriously went up in flames, reducing them to ash. Concerned neighbors, who rushed to assist in extinguishing the fires, discovered the family's belongings, including clothing, dishes, and various items bundled together and seemingly prepared for removal. Disturbingly, rumors circulated that young Willis suffered abuse at the hands of his stepmother, who would often subject him to severe beatings for seemingly minor transgressions. On September 14, 1894, Willis experienced intense stomach pains after consuming some green apples. A physician was summoned to their residence, prescribing medication and reassuring that the young boy would recover in a few hours. However, 2 days later, young Cowan succumbed to excruciating agony. Given Mary's questionable history of similar deaths, and the fact that her husband had previously fallen ill with a similar ailment but survived, suspicions were aroused. As a result, Willis's remains were exhumed, and his organs were sent to Bowdoin College in Brunswick for a comprehensive analysis. The autopsy findings were chilling, indicating that the body contained substantial levels of arsenic, an amount sufficient to kill a fully grown ox. Swiftly, law enforcement officers took Mary Cowan into custody on charges of murdering her stepson. Prior to her arrest, she had vehemently threatened legal action against anyone who accused her of poisoning, but her demeanor took a sharp turn once incarcerated, marked by tears and distress. During her 1895 trial, a substantial body of evidence was presented that strongly implicated Mary as the one responsible for poisoning young Willis. Among the witnesses was a young girl from the neighborhood who had observed Mrs. Cowan adding a white powder to the boy's medicine, which had been left by the doctor. Regrettably, she did not testify, complying with her father's request due to concerns for her safety. Nevertheless, the prosecutor successfully demonstrated that the presence of arsenic in the boy's body could only have been the result of a deliberate act. Following a few days of deliberation, the jury returned a verdict of guilty. Cowan remained stoic when hearing the verdict, while her counsel, J.F. Robinson, declared his intentions to file a motion for retrial. However, in June, it was announced that the retrial proceedings had been abandoned. While incarcerated, Mary Cowan engaged in interviews with reporters and received visits from those interested in her case. On one occasion, she revealed to a reporter that she had hired a private detective who had purportedly uncovered evidence supporting her innocence. She expressed optimism about regaining her freedom one day. Her hopes were dashed on February 19, 1896, when she received an official sentence of life imprisonment for the murder of Willis Cowan. Cowan served her sentence at the Maine State Prison for the subsequent 2 years. In 1898, her examining physician reached out to then-Governor Llewellyn Powers, appealing for Mary's pardon due to her deteriorating health and her wish to spend her remaining days in peace at her Dixmont residence. Despite her ailment, Mary gave birth to a child while in prison, but tragically, both the child and herself passed away shortly after. Cowan, who had earned the moniker the Borgia of Maine from the press, was initially laid to rest in Etna near her parents' home. However, her remains were later moved to the Sawyer Cemetery in her birthplace of Plymouth, where she was interred alongside her young murder victims in the family plot. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please consider subscribing by clicking the red subscribe button below. And don't forget to ring that notification bell so you never miss an update. Your support means the world to us. Please give this video a thumbs up if you liked it. Thanks again for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.